Now turning to a crisis in Haiti and a warning, this next story may be unsettling for some viewers. Thousands of women and girls in Haiti are the victims of sexual assaults. It's happening as heavily armed gangs take control of more areas in that country. And joining me now is Miami Herald reporter Jacqueline Charles. Her new series titled Haiti's Lost Generation offers a chilling account of what is occurring there. Jackie, you spent more than a year digging into this story. It's such powerful reporting, I have to say. What you describe is really amounts to sexual terrorism. You're
right. I mean, the gangs are using rapes as a weapon of war. And so young girls and women, when a gang attacks, they don't know how that is going to end. In some cases, they are killed. In other cases, they contract HIV or some other sexual infection, or they become pregnant. But it is surging.
Wow. No national outrage over this. Why not?
You know, that's a very good question. You know, is it that, Haitians have become used to the violence? Is it because the capital is 90% controlled by, gangs? Is it because these days people are so frustrated that they almost lack sympathy for the people who are being victimized by the gangs? There's so many reasons why we don't see this outrage, but the reality is that there needs to be outrage because you are losing a generation here.
And that's really the title of this, A Lost Generation. And a doctor coined that phrase that you interviewed there. What did he mean by that?
What he means is that when you look at the fact that in today's Haiti, you have, a gang membership, 30 to 50% are young people. When you look at the fact that you have young girls, 8, 11 years old, that are being sexually violated and getting pregnant at times, that these women and these girls are broken, that you are losing an entire generation amidst this gang violence. I mean, every single day we're seeing reports. If it's not the gangs fighting among themselves, it's the gangs launching attacks on poor farmers or people in Port-au-Prince.
And your report also connects the dots between Trump administration funding cuts and what's going on there in Haiti. Explain.
There are neighborhoods where it's not a question about if you're going to get raped, but when you're going to get raped. And so women are turning to birth control. But when the administration is cutting birth control access, that's a problem. When the administration doesn't want to recognize gender-based violence, or we're talking about this new gang suppression force, and the idea is just go in and kill, but not addressing the root causes or the fallout of this crisis. I mean, what we've also found is that in a capital where gangs have basically attacked or set fire to medical clinics, women just don't have access. So when you're raped, within the first 72 hours are critical, and less those opportunities are there to get there because the facilities just don't exist because of the lack of funding or because of the gang attacks. And
your report also pointed out, I think very importantly so, that this is not just a gang violence issue. This is also an issue, in some cases, of men in power.
Yes, so outside of Port-au-Prince, what we're hearing from human rights activists and grassroots organizations is you have a situation where, women are just being exploited, young girls are being exploited. So what we've seen is that the poorer Haiti has become, the more unstable Haiti has become, this has now become a problem. And so, and again, you have the abandonment issues. One of the stories we talk about is a young girl who was raped. She's a survivor. She had a child and she wants nothing to do with the child. But the mother, who is not anyone of great means, is taking care of this child. And I said, well, why are you doing this? And she says, because I need to save him from becoming tomorrow's bandit.
Wow. Well, such powerful reporting, as I mentioned. And you have 3 more parts of this series over the next couple of days, so we certainly look forward to reading that. Thank you for this very important piece of journalistic work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline Charles. And to read more about her investigation, our partners, the Miami Herald, just head to MiamiHerald.com. The 4-part series on Haiti's Lost Generation resumes with 2 more stories tomorrow, and then another on Friday.